And here are the lights for the first time this season. 1 red light, 2 red lights, 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. And it's lights down, away we go, albeit a jump start for one driver further back, and as they make the way towards turn 1, that was Dean Powell with the jump start. Philipp Hammer gets a brilliant launch up the line, but meanwhile Igor Koss looking about the inside of Thomas Coveted to turn 1. Koss is there for FDR Esports, but Cove's going to hang around the outside as much as he can. They make the way in towards turn number 6, a bit of a lock up there for Daniel Lee, and he goes very wide indeed as the Bova takes the place off of him, and right now the gold pack are going to be let on throw as Lee tries to rejoin, but albeit he now finds himself and let every member of the gold class family through, the silver class family through, I should say, as the gold class driver right now tries to regain his composure. Right now an airy battling half the position as Mark Jones here looks up the inside of Wesley Hiscox and gets the move done on Alex Hiscox P22. And as they make the way down the back straight now, well, that's going to be the glaring Olympus Esports machine of Thompson that's going to be looking to move around the outside. We've got Corey Lazarus a bit further back. Lazarus not carrying as much straight line speed, a bit more rear wing on the Lazarus machine as he makes his way on through. But meanwhile Thompson gets ahead here and Busby's going to have to try and do it on the brakes. They make the way down and in towards the braking zone they go, but Busby coming on through later on the brakes here, more confidence in the car, but outside line of 10B, and as they come on through the right hander, we've had a change of lead between Cope and Hammer. We'll get an update on that very shortly, but right now side by side they make the way on through the right hander, and Cope they're just getting ahead of Busby on towards another lap as they power on through. A third of the race complete, still 2/3 of it to go. So it was the run out of the turn 10 chicane here, and it looks like Hammer got a good run off the corner, but Cope just launches forward, going over the rise of 11. I think they're Cope really hooking up, and Hammer perhaps just hitting the rev limiter slightly on an upshift. We couldn't quite hear anything. Well, I think right now Pearson gaining little by little and finding his way alongside here, so he's running a little bit less rearing by comparison, but it's marginal, and as he goes onto the brakes, he's not quite got the run on the brakes compared to Smith, who defends hard on the inside there at 10B. And Pearson made to go backwards slightly. Peterson look for the move this time. He's within the 10th, he can go for it, there's no doubt about it. He does up the inside. Newman does not defend it. I think he was expecting Peterson to overextend the corner, but in the end, Ben Peterson gets it done, gets the stops in time, and after 12 minutes of racing in round 1 of the season, Thomas Cope makes his mark and takes the first victory for Olympus Esports Vanguard by 2.3 seconds over Philipp Hammer P2. P16 was your silver class winner, Cameron Smith, ahead of Adam Grieveson, with Sean Cranley Swash completing the silver podium there. P18 for 24-hour Bunty people. And it's a long wait, but it's lights out and away we go for the second race of the day here at Road Atlanta. 30 minutes of racing, and Paul Busby gets a good start, but look at Corey Lazarus on the left of your picture, trying to squeeze his way into the opening corner. He can't quite find the overlap, but meanwhile, it's 3-1 behind between Thompson, Sedgwick and Cos. Cos on the outside, Cos off in the back of the picture. That's Hatchet, DeBova and Hobbs, and as they all make the way on through, it's drama in the silver class, but meanwhile in the gold class, everybody just about survives it, apart from Igor Kos, who falls a long way down by the way. Down, oh goodness, but it's a nasty knack to the wall there for a driver, and that's the FDR Esports car of Cos, and it's pandemonium as they make the way in towards turn number 6. Cars over the middle of the road. I think a lot of drivers not getting time to slow down as they all try to survive a major incident, and well, goodness me, that's at least 10 if not 15 drivers all into the scene of an incident, and well, with that it's going to shake up the silver class in particular like a salt shaker as they make the way through, and with it all right onto the inside there into turn number 10, and as he makes his way through, makes the move, makes it look sweet and simple as he comes on towards the end of the opening lap. Gets it wrong at turn 5, tries to get the car back together, unfortunately can't move it out of the way just in time, but he reverses. It's carnage there as there's contact with Richard White's car, and White is sent to the barrier, and very unfortunate as White is racing today. As they make the way on down the back straight here, Jeremy Story right now under pressure from Daniel Lee as they make the way into the braking zone, and look at this, Khalid Ramadan looking at the move as well. It's going to be 3 wide under braking into turn number 10, but in the end Ramadan backs off. Meanwhile Lee goes to the outside to inside, and Jeremy Story defends it well, and ultimately should the P19 overall as they make the way on down towards another lap. Hatcher trying to find his way on around with Steve Hobbs, well, that's gone a long way around to the grass, and in the end it finds there's not enough road surface there to make the move, and the car is into the wall. This here Wayne Baston was under pressure from Glenn Humberstone, but Humberstone goes around taking too much apex curve at turn number 5, and the 8-tech racing driver Lee, who's all over the back here of the Story as they make the way down towards turn number 10 in towards the chicane. It's going to be Lee who goes around the outside. Story defends hard here. Lee locks up, and that lock up is going to carry him all the way through the chicane and up to the rise. Now he'll carry the momentum, but I'm certain he'll have to give an automated slowdown and yield the place. He does so and brings himself back up to speed. Roush has found his way through, but Thompson goes defensive versus Hammer. He does not want to yield, but Hammer says, well, fine, I'll go long way round if I have to. And as they go side by side into turn number 1, it's going to be Hammer all the way up the hill, but can he find it into 3? That's where he's got to get the move done. Thompson digs in deep, and Hammer is made to wait once again as they make the way down the hill through the Essex. Wow, and now Hammer's going to be there once again, and this time Hammer looks inside, but Thompson covers off quite late in the day there, but Thompson made his intentions clear, and Hammer right now will probably be thinking, okay, you pushed it a little bit to the limit there, now I'm going to push you to the limit even more as we ride on board with the Team Germany driver, reigning and defending gold champion, as he makes his way over the rise of 3 and down 4 before he goes. Meanwhile, speaking of being under pressure, and I don't mean the Queen song right now, Paul Busby under effect. What is there? Corey Lazarus, as Lazarus looks down the outside. The effect simulation trying to defend hard here, but he overextends turn A, and as he makes his way out of the chicane, it's now going to be a drag race over the rise and down, but Cope goes round the outside of Lazarus through turn 11 to take P2, and the Olympus Esports Vanguard drive's not done yet. He's going to try and go for 2 as he makes his way into turn number 1. Albeit he's going to be on the outside here, he's got a nose ahead as they clear into the apex, as they roll the way uphill. Cope runs out of road, and with it Lazarus comes back. Now can Lazarus hold that inside line into 4? That'll be the question. He does indeed, and Cope there with some absolutely brave battling, in the end losing out the place he came, but he went for it. I think he knows that out of the 3 drivers here, he may be the fastest of them, and therefore can afford to start throwing in moves. Of course, that ball, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a battle for the lead here between Corey Lazarus and Thomas Cope. Paul Busby, I think, has finally fallen, as it's going to be Cope on the inside. Bit of door rubbing there as they go through turn number 12, and it looks as though Corey Lazarus has found the move. Cope's on the inside into turn 1. He's going to capitalise on this and try and make it count all the way through the right-hander. Up the hill they go, still side by side, and Cope finally gets it done to take the P2 off of Paul Busby, albeit now it's going to be literally the dominoes falling left, right and centre. Essentially tries to say, well, I can do it too, and then gets reminded not into the S's you can't, as they make the way down through the S's now, and Paul Busby making himself as wide as possible there, but now for sure Cranny Swash, who's behind Thompson. You can just see the speed that Cope is bringing as he's on the right of your pitch, and they make the way down towards turn number 10. He'll swing to left of your pitch on the reverse camera, and as they come in towards the braking zone, it'll be Cope as the inside into 10A, but Lazarus is going to try and outbrake him to get the inside of 10B. Side by side they go. Cope decides to cut it back. Lazarus sees it coming and just simply puts the car right in the face of Cope as they make the way through turn number 12 once more. But we ride on board and look back from the rear bumper of Lazarus' car, and there goes Cope looking to the inside, and meanwhile Busby also behind, and as they make the way into the opening corner once again, Thomas Cope takes the lead of the race. Lazarus cuts back, however. Has he got enough time uphill to get this done? It's going to be bold here. He's going to get it on the brakes to the rear, and no, he does not, and Thomas Cope takes the lead of the race with still 13 and a half minutes to go. He was in the run into turn 1, so they're looking for the move after Ramadan had passed towards Basson. Into the opening corner they went. Wayne Basson goes very deep there, and almost in a way relinquishing the position. I wonder whether Wayne Basson's got a problem in that car, because we see, meanwhile, we see Corey Lazarus here, all out of sorts and losing places, left, right and centre. And what on earth is happening to Corey Lazarus? He's been an off track at turn 10B, and now he's got Philipp Hammer, an old rival, looking for the move around the outside as they make the way to turn 1. He can't quite find it, however, can Hammer. But what he can do is find a cutback in the run up towards 2, but this is going to be bold from Hammer, and he can't get alongside as they make the way down through 3 and into 4. Lazarus goes a little bit off the road once again, and I think right now the New Zealander a little bit out of sorts. He tries to regain his composure, but this is the worst place to be out of your rhyme and rhythm, going through the S's into turn number 5 for the simple reason there's a redefined line for the sequence of corners, and when you're not in the zone you're going to feel it immediately as they make the way up towards turn number 6. Back of the field, that's a Parker versus Atkinson. James Parker on the outside there, Atkinson on the inside, and the UKSimRacing admin team driver makes the move on the iRacing Summit DCW racing car. Although I think Parker here getting ready to come back at Atkinson as soon as possible as they make the way clear, as he brings it down to a 10. Where will Parker go? He's made to go to the outside or inside. It'll be the outside as he looks to go side by side into the turn 10 chicane. Atkinson defends hard here on the inside, where Parker tries to cut it back through, but Atkinson has his number each and every time and just simply straight lines the car on through and makes his way over 11, but Parker's not done yet, still within the 10th as they make the way through turn number 12 and onwards towards 1 they go, and nose to tail here all the way, and this is the battle for P9 in the golden overall category that you're looking at as they make the way through the right-hander. but in the end it does look as though Atkinson able to hold on, as meanwhile Parker still trying to knock on the door of the UKSimRacing admin team driver. Counts one of them as meanwhile off the road there is Jack Atkinson. What on earth has happened to Atkinson? He's gone off circuit, and as he tries to recover, well, I think there's a bit more to a story. He's decided to take a detour, and well, we'll take a look back at the replay of that very shortly if we get it on cue. But meanwhile, that puts Atkinson all the way down to P11. Battle here between Marcel Fritsch and Ben Peterson as they make the way down towards turn number 10. Into the brains on the go. Peterson up the inside, and the Blackout Motorsport New Zealand, Australia driver, I should say, making his way all through and getting it done there. A nice move in the 881 for P13 with Fritsch and Foster now also trying to come after them as they make the way through the final corner. 8 minutes still on the clock here, and I don't think this battle is done yet. All three drivers, I think, have got damage to their cars, and it's affecting them differently. I think for Peterson in particular, he's not got as much straight line speed. Meanwhile, Foster's got a lot of speed, but the cornering doesn't seem too hooked up. Marcel Fritsch goes overly deep. We do have the battle here for it's P3 in the, in fact it's P2 I should say, in the silver class, and this is Glenn Humberstone versus Wayne Basson, and Humberstone gets the move done, going through the chicane there, and Basson falls back. And again, I think right now we are seeing the number 9 FR20 Sim Racing driver having to manage a damaged car. Atkinson, who has got behind Dean Powell trying to put the pressure on. Powell looking for the move here, going into turn number 12, can't quite find it, remembering of course that Atkinson at one point battling to be P9 versus what was at the time James Parker, but an incident at turn number 7 that led to the dash of his hopes there. He happened. Making his way over the horizon under brake, it just misses braking point. You can see they're having to snatch the car before it went around, going into turns 3 and 4, and therefore the Blackout Motorsport driver decides to lose a couple of places, then return, regaining control of the car. On Atkinson versus Dean Powell in the battle for P11 golden overall as they make the way on through turn number 10, and will Powell all over the back of Atkinson as they make the way out the corner. We ride on board with the number 24 car, which is definitely right now all fired up. It started from towards the back of the field. It's gained 27 places since the start, so to put you in the frame, it started from P was 39 on the grid and will survive in that opening lap instant right now. Dean Powell definitely trying to make everything count as much as he can. Was coming out to turn number 1, and Lazarus going deep there as they made the way through, and then Hammer looking up the inside in towards turn number 3, and was side by side. They went through 4, but then Hammer being very bold there to hold the outside line, and Lazarus having to back off to provide the space in the sheet for them to go too wide, and then Hammer just able to inherit that lead position as they make the way into the right hand and kicked off the S's. That is Chris Eddersford who's chasing after Lee Deemer, albeit this is going to be a 4 overall position, not class position, as he looks up the inside of the gold class driver, does the Triple A UKSimRacing admin team machine as he goes on through and gains the place, takes P24. I think 9 today for Eddersford, that he could have definitely had a win in the sprint race. As he heads down through the final corner, it's going to be a 1-2-3 for Olympus Esports, with the Vanguard driver Thomas Cope taking the win in formation ahead of Daniel Sedgley and Patrick Thompson. It'll be Paul Busby P4 ahead of Philipp Hammer P5, Corey Lazarus P6 ahead of teammate Samuel Sproul P7, and it'll be Errol Cummins P8 ahead of James Parker, with Simon Bamber completing your top 10 shortly as he comes on through to take the final top 10 spot overall in gold class. And then there's your silver class winner, ladies and gentlemen. DBR Bowman challenges Jeremy DeBova, who on his debut takes the win in the first feature race he competes in for the silver class. Glenn Humberstone finishes P2 in silver, and what will be the best part of 7 seconds clear of the third and final finisher in a wounded car, but limps home for P3 in silver class, Wayne Basson for FR20 Sim Racing. Those could be some pivotal points later in the season. Ahead of Steve Hobbs, his teammate, Chris Eddersford P5 in silver, P23 overall ahead of Lee Deemer, with Sean Adobe P6. After 30 minutes of racing in the round 2 feature at Road Atlanta in season 7 of the UKSimRacing Porsche Cup, brought to you on iRacing live on the UKSimRacing YouTube channel. Thomas Cope taking the win for Olympus Esports Vanguard, the lead driver of the Olympus Esports train, with Olympus Esports Titans Daniel Sedgley P2, and thereful filling the sandwich, which is topped off by Patrick Thompson P3 for Olympus Esports Vanguard. It's a 1-2-3 for Olympus Esports, with Paul Busby then breaking up the chain, P4 there for Effect Simulations. It was a stoic defence all the way through and through, but Busby in the end finally wilted to the pressure of Cope and Lazarus, and from that point onwards having to battle hard to stay on the podium, but falling just short, with Jeremy DeBova completing a run which took him P18 overall, but more importantly for him, the win in the silver class by the DBR Bowman Challenge driver. Congratulations to him, taking the win in the end by just shy of 10 seconds over Glenn Humberstone for 8 Racing. Wayne Basson at P20 completed the silver podium at both Humberstone and Basson. And the FR20 Sim Racing driver holding off Chris Eddersford, or in fact holding off Steve Hobbs to line, I should say, with Chris Eddersford not too far away as well. We'd just like to let you know, if you have enjoyed the racing tonight and you've ever wondered how you can support UK Sim Racing, did you know there is a quick way to do so via our affiliates? For UK Sim Racing is affiliated to multiple sim racing and real world motorsport companies, and if you do head to our website, and that's uksimracing.com, not .com, my apologies, uksimracing.co.uk today, website which appears on screen right there, where you can see at the very top there is a link to our Discord. And if you click on that link, it's useful to you in particular for two reasons. Firstly, if you ever want to race in one of our official series, you need to be part of our Discord. It's a mandatory requirement. But more importantly, with regards to our affiliates provide discount code links only available on the UK Sim Racing Discord. And if you use one of those links or one of those codes, it means that when you go to do your purchase, you get a discount, which is a win for you as the consumer. And we at UK Sim Racing get a kickback from your purchase, which is a win for the community, because we are a non-profit organisation, and every penny we make from an affiliate purchase gets invested back into the community to fund a future series, including the Porsche Cup and the GT3 League, and plenty more planned for 2023.